it's always nervous, the first speaker, you are always nervous, and I'm going to talk about psychological safety. Can you imagine that? Yeah. So let me just start this. Does it scare you guys? Is it creepy? Yeah. So that's the topic I want to talk about, psychological safety in the organization, right? I want to start with myself. How do I feel standing over here? Do I feel comfortable? Do I belong here? Do I feel comfortable? Will I be judged? Will there be negative consequences of my talk over here? So do I feel psychological safety? Psychological safety is a mental faculty. It happens over here. It's a feeling. It starts over here, isn't it? I just turned 50 last year. Yeah? So I'm 50 years old. I have 28 years of experience. So I'm going to do something special today. I'm going to let you into my secret. I'm going to share 3 stories of my life. Yeah, 3 stories which is very near and dear to me, which has always been very near and dear, and I choose it very, very carefully with whom I share. But I'll share with you because this is to do with psychological safety. Each of these stories, I cried. I literally cried. I had tears in my eyes. And I cried 3 times, but for different reasons. And I'm going to tell you why I cried. Yeah? Each of this story is tied to psychological safety. At the end of each story, I'll also help you with a message. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to relate to 1, 2, 3, or all the stories. If not, at least you'll appreciate it. Yeah? With that, if I have your permission, I'll take it forward, guys. Yeah. Again, that's me. I think Jaslyn did a very good thing describing me. But I want to make this as a disclaimer first. I do not have degree in psychology. I do not have degree in psychology. I'm going to speak lots of things today, but I have no intention to hurt anyone's sentiments. Yeah? So with that, let's start with the first story. It's a very interesting story. That's my class. That's me right there, I was very short for my height. That's my school. I joined that school in the 7th grade. This was one of the best schools in the town. One of the best schools, 100% pass rate in the 10th. Now again, remember, I'm 50 years old. So we are talking about the year is 70s and 80s. That's what we are talking about. So my dad had been trying to get me into this school for multiple years, but the admission process was very, very difficult. Yeah, very, very difficult. My brothers are studying there. Both my younger brothers are studying there. So I was very much looking forward to getting into this school. Yeah, I was very excited about it. And eventually I got admission into this school. I was so excited. I was so happy that I'm going to go into this school. It's a morning school. Earlier it was an afternoon school. So this is a morning school. Let me go and let me cherish it. So I joined the school. Very happy. Yeah, very, very happy. It was 2nd week in this school. 2nd week. I'm first bencher sitting right where Jaslyn is sitting right now. Yeah, I'm in the first bench. It was a science lecture. 2nd week in my school. 2nd week. It was a science subject. My teacher asked me a question. And I just looked at her and I innocently smiled at her. For some reason, she did not like it. The next minute, she removes the watch, keeps it on her table, comes to me, pulls me, rings my ear, makes me stand up. And she slaps me once. She slaps me again once. Then she pinches me. Yeah? And pulls it. I'm like, I'm in pain. I'm not sure what's happening to me. She again slaps me a few times. I was sad. I was not sure what was happening to me. Yeah, I was not sure what was happening to me. Just 2nd week, all that excitement, all that happiness was stolen from me that day. She left a very, very deep scar in me that day. Very, very deep scar. That day, it was just before the long break. So once the long break happened, I didn't know what to do. I was 12 years old. 12 years old. I was very raw. I went to the washroom and I started crying. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. my psychological safety was compromised that day. Yeah. I really went silent. I went silent. Yeah. I was not safe. I just did not belong there. And as soon as you feel that you do not belong there, you want to run away. You want to run away, and you get into this protection mode where you guard yourself. So that's exactly what I did. I began to protect myself, to survive. And I did for the next 3 years, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 4 years in fact. I survived for 4 years. I was lying low. I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want anyone to see me because you know what? If you see me, if I meet eye to eye, someone is going to ask me a question. Don't ask me a question. I don't want to be there. And again, don't feel bad because I was hurt. It was a very common practice then. In 70s and 80s, it was a very common practice in lots of schools. People were getting hit left and right, and I'm sure many of you must have got hit over there, right? But I don't know why someone hit me that day. I had an innocent smile on my face. Apparently, her rule is, if I ask you a question, it is your job to stand. If you do not stand, you're disrespectful. But what type of respect did you show to me by hitting me and taking my innocence away that day? Yeah? So you began to protect yourself. But there's a reason I'm saying this. I started to hold back my ideas, emotions, feelings. I started to have self-doubt. This is also very, very common, and I'm sure you must have faced this. Self-doubt is very, very common. In the Indian school system back then, there are not many schools, there are not many choices. You will have 50, 60 students in a class. Very easy, very easy. Every time, it is that 4 or 5 students in the class who are picked for any annual day functions, for inter-school competitions. It is very, very common that these are the people who are picked all the time. So right from the childhood, there is kind of self-doubt. Oh, you are not good enough. There are others who are good enough, who are much better than you. You are not good enough. That self-doubt starts happening right from when you're children, when you're a child. Psychological safety happens then. It doesn't happen as an adult. Understand this, very important. Yeah? And I had developed a serious phobia of public speaking. Right now I'm speaking, right? So I'm sure there is something good that happened sometime, which I'll talk about very soon again. Yeah, that's my second story. But I had developed a serious phobia of public speaking. And I was scarred. Yeah. But why is this so relevant? 28 years in this industry. For the past 14 years, I've been an independent consultant, coach, trainer. I was privileged to see so many organizations. Not just see the organizations, work with the organizations. Yeah? Work at the executive level. And I'll tell you for sure, fear is very, very real in the organizations. It is very real. And I'll share some real experiences which I have seen. And maybe you have also observed that. Yeah? Layoffs. Have you heard about this term, layoffs? It's damn scary. Damn scary. I was in US from 1998 till 2010. I used to work for one company called EMC Corporation, which is now part of Dell. I relocated in 2010. Layoffs is very real. There are 2 big events that happened while I was there. One was the dot-com bubble, and then was this 9/11 also happened during the same time, 2000, 2001. And then we had this housing crisis in 2008. Yeah? I don't know how many of you have gone through layoffs. I have not been part of layoffs. I have not been laid off ever. But when the rumor mill starts, and the rumor mill always starts with some news about some company is laying off. And then the rumor mill starts happening. And be it happened every year when I was in EMC, every year. And when it happens, it's very scary because job is your livelihood. You have to feed your family. Yeah? You have to take care of your kids, your responsibility. There are lots of things that you are doing. And layoffs is very, very scary. It happened in 2001, it happened in 2002, it happened in 2003, it happened in 2004, and kept on happening. And every time it happened, I'll tell you that the productivity of individuals goes to 0. It goes to negative. And people are in stress. People cannot literally think. You cannot think when you're in stress. Has anyone seen that before? Have you heard about layoffs? Yeah, is it happening over here? Very common. It's happening today, yes? Wow. Yeah. Absolutely, it's happening, isn't it? So that's my first story I wanted to share. Second thing, I've seen grown-ups in tears. I'm a coach in a company. I've seen grown-ups in tears because the manager is giving left and right to that person. This person is in a cocoon because that job is so important for that person, he is not able to speak up. The last thing he's doing is taking his handkerchief and wiping his tears. You cannot be safe. Can you imagine what this person is going through? You cannot allow that to happen, no? It's a very unsafe environment. Yeah. Aggressive management style. I've seen managers boasting, you know what? People are scared of talking to me. And they're boasting to me as a coach. They're scared of talking to me. You know why? Because I'm a taskmaster. I take them to task. I'm like, you're proud about it? There's something wrong, no, guys? Why is this happening? Game data to keep the leaders happy. Have you seen this? Oh, my manager, we just have to tell him the good news. If you tell him the bad news, he'll become like a tomato. Yeah, he's going to come after me. Happens, right? Have you seen this? Meeting without any outcomes. A beautiful meeting. The meeting's running so fine. There is so much energy. And all of a sudden, a manager pops in. Shh. Silence. Nobody wants to talk. Have you seen this happen? Why does this happen? Because he has created that fear. He has created that fear. Favoritism. I told you, right? It happened in my school. There was favoritism right there. Do you see favoritism in your company? Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. Politics, that's the other thing. We can keep on talking about it for years. Individuals put on PIP and fired. Have you seen this? PIP is personal individual improvement plan, yes. There is something called, this HR has come up with a new idea. What they think is something called bell curve. Bell curve. Oh, she's such a good worker. She does so well. She's right in the middle, right? Next year, she's doing same job this year, but someone did better than her this year, because of which she is now a low performer. And there is a HR mandate that we have to put her into PIP, and we have to get rid of her, because 10% of the population has to go out, no matter what, whether you like it or not. There's a serious challenge now over here. There's something that we need to think of, fear. What will happen when that happens? When she knows that she is going to get into trouble, she'll say, you know what, I'm not going to collaborate anymore. Information hiding. I'm going to secure my job first. If I know something, I'll keep it to myself. Let people come to me and ask me about it. But if I start sharing, then I will not have anything to give. Information hiding happens, isn't it? Have you seen this? This is very interesting, right? The managers going on vacation. More than the manager, the people under them are happy. That, oh man, that next 10 days, 15 days, we'll have fun. We don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So these are some things, right, that I have seen about my story one. I want to recap what I am saying. That's me, by the way, when I was like 1 year old. So it's me talking to me right now. And this is my first story, or first learnings over here. Our environment shapes our behavior. If in your organization you have a culture of fear, you are just increasing fear. If you are having a fear of competition, you are just going to increase competition. If you are having a culture of innovation, you are going to encourage innovation. Will you agree with me on this? So our environment is so important because that drives our behavior. Yeah. The onus is on leaders to create a sense of belonging, yeah, which leads to psychological safety. You better do that. You better do it for your people. A new fresher, I've seen in the organizations, a new joinee comes in. Oh, we are so busy. Oh, shouldn't we just be helping him? Oh, we are just so busy. We'll get to him. That poor guy with so much energy, so much bubbliness. I want to do something. I want to do something creative. and there is no one to help this person, you're taking the oxygen out of this person. Don't do that. Have your plan ready. When a new person comes, that person brings so much energy, so much life, and you're killing that life. Have you seen this in the organization? I'll give you an example over here, right? A new, fresh person joining comes, beautiful energy, bubbliness, bounciness in that person. Brings that, hey manager, should we try this? Oh, no. Oh, my idea is short. Maybe the idea was not good enough. Next time, oh, this is the idea. Should we? No. Maybe I'm not good enough now. You see that? You made that person an employee. What does that mean? This person says, you know what? I will do my 9 to 5. I'll play on the radar. Give me my salary and I'll be happy. Yeah? Which is a lose-lose-lose proposal everywhere for everyone. Yeah? And third thing, very important guys, very, very important. Please don't hurt or hit anyone for any reason. It is wrong. It is wrong. Don't do that. I had a big problem as I was growing up. Very, very big problem. Yeah? And then some magician has to come and I'll show you what the magician is. So that is my story number 1. But why do people behave this way? There is a reason behind that. There is a reason behind that. Let me show you. This is the not my theory. There is this guy, peopleski.com. He comes and says, you take the world's population. Take the world's population and you can divide it into 4 categories. Either the person is dominant, either the person is influential, either the person is steady or stable, or the person is compliant. Yeah? So what is dominant personality? Let's keep it simple, right? A dominant personality. This person stands near the elevator. You know, he's waiting for the elevator. He keeps on pressing the button. He feels the more he presses the button, the elevator is going to come very quickly for him. That's a personality. It's a very direct style of working. They're very confident. They're very aggressive. That's dominant. Now imagine the lift door has opened, the elevator door has opened. People are getting into the elevator. Yeah, people are getting into the elevator and the elevator door closes. Now the I personality takes over. Because this I personality gets a captive audience over there. Oh, hey man, how are you? All doing well? What are you going to do? And they just start talking because it's a captive audience. They like it. That's their style. That's influential personality. So the dominant personality is only 3% in the world. If it becomes 4%, the world will collapse. The influential personality is 11%. If it becomes 12%, you cannot make any decisions in this world. Yeah? And then we have this 69% of the population is steady personality. These are the people, these are people's people. You're in the elevator door opens up, you know, there is a person that is standing, there's not enough room. Oh, come on, we'll squeeze you in. Come on, it's okay. And if there is not enough room, he says, you know what, I'll get out because I think you need the elevator more than me. So I'll walk the stairs, but you get in. So these are people's people. 69%. These are the people who are defensive. They like the status quo as is. Yeah? So in an organization, when you're trying to make certain change, why change? Why change? Everything is working fine, no? That's because that 69% of the world's population likes things as they are. They don't want chaos. They're very happy with how the life is. And the remaining 17%, are the compliant people. So this is the person in the elevator. He says, the elevator says we can have 10 people. There are already 7 people, but that 7th guy is a bit healthy. So I say, you know what, we'll count it as 9. If there is one more person that comes in, I'm out of the elevator. Because that's a compliant person over there. Me? And you can understand, why do organizations behave so differently? Why do people behave so differently within the organization? Let's talk about story 2. So you remember the story 1 that we talked about? So I had that fear of public speaking throughout my journey. Throughout my career, you know, I did my engineering. I went to US. I started working in the organization called EMC Corporation. I worked over there. I was a very, very good employee. So while I was there, the company sponsored me for masters. So I did my masters in computer science over there. I was working in a unit over there, doing quite well. But again, as an individual in individual capacity, I was very ambitious. I want to do something more. I want to get into project management. I want to get into program management. But that fear of public speaking, how do you get rid of that? So I did my PMP certification. So EMC is like a big university. So I started doing this IJP, internal job transfer. What is it called? Internal job postings. So when that IJP happened, I said, let me apply. So there was a group that was looking for integration test manager. The role was basically when the build is ready, when the code is ready, you have to install it on multiple servers, get the servers ready so that the development testing can happen. Yeah? And I knew so many people who were working in that group. Hiren, don't take it. It's not a good work. I said, you know what, my gut feel says it's going to be good for me. So I went with my gut feel and actually joined that group. I joined that group, I was working over there, and actually the work was very bad. It was really bad. So I'm like, oh man. So, and it was very high pressure job. But I said, you know what, I can do something about this. So I looked at the entire process. I said, I can automate it. I automated the entire process. Yeah? I automated the entire process, I streamlined the entire process, and I made myself redundant. So I was having one-on-one with my manager, who was basically leading the program management team. He says, Hiren, what do you want to do next? I said, yeah, mainstream program management will be good. I knew in my heart it is never going to happen. And manager knew that I had so much fear, it's not going to happen. So week later, 2 weeks later maybe, this guy stops on Wednesday afternoon and says, hey Hiren, how are you placed tomorrow? I said, yeah, I'm okay, I'm good. So you're here tomorrow? Yeah, I said, yeah. I want you to run the program level meeting tomorrow. I said, which program level meeting? In which all the directors, the senior VPs, managers, there are 35 people from US Hopkinton, people from Ireland, Cork, people from Bangalore, everyone is there? I said, yeah. I started perspiring right in front of him. I'm sweating. He said, no. I said, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're going to run it. If you need any help, let me know. And he left. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Went to the washroom, came back. Went to the washroom, came back. I said, I need to do something. So I said, let me start preparing the agenda. So I started preparing the agenda for Hopkinton office. I started preparing agenda. Around 4 o'clock, Ireland Cork comes into play. I prepared my agenda again. In the evening at 8 o'clock, India comes into play. I started preparing the agenda. Entire night I'm preparing the agenda. I could not sleep that day. I'm standing in front of the mirror. Yeah, I'm going to impress everyone. I'm going to say this. I'm going to do this. This is my show this time. Yeah. Because I wanted to prove myself. There was something in me that I wanted to prove. But I was so scared. On the morning at 9 o'clock when the meeting starts, I was there at 8 o'clock. I made sure my laptop is ready. Everything is set up correctly. Everything is up there. Yeah. People started trickling in. They did not observe that I'm going to run the meeting. For them, it was okay. So they started coming in. At 9 o'clock, the meeting starts. People are in the room. Words are not coming out of my mouth. My throat is parched. First 5 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing, nothing is coming out. I said, man, Hiren, this is gone. And I don't know what happened that day. I stood up. I said, guys, I really need your help. I'm so scared. I'm so worried. This is the first time ever in my life I'm running a meeting of this magnitude. Can you all be nice to me, please? Can you all be kind to me? And then the meeting was kind of self-managed. People were nice to me. They started talking to each other. Hiren, we should take notes. Like we should take this notes over here, this notes over here. And the meeting ran for 1.5 hours. At the end, I was relieved. I said, done. Done, right? I was okay. The next day, I was sitting, I was doing something. My manager comes. Hey, Hiren, how did it go yesterday? I said, man, don't ask me. It's done. I said, what are you talking about? People loved you. They appreciated the work that you did yesterday. This is your meeting going forward. Welcome to program management. This is your project. This is the second time I cried. This time I cried because a new world opened up for me. A world that I did not know existed. See this, I'm trainer, I'm standing right here. If this had not happened, I would be in cocoon somewhere. Yeah? It happened for me that day. Someone opened a new world for me. Yeah? So that is my second learning. Let me show you something over here. Yeah, over here, I'm not a hero, by the way. What I realized is vulnerability is a strength and not a weakness. Standing over there and speaking your heart out that I need help. Can you be nice to me? It is not weakness, it is strength. And people realize it. People are happy about it. People are kind. People appreciate it. That day I also learned one more thing. Until then, I always had a manager. A person who used to take care of the work that I did. Over here, I had a manager. I had a leader who believed in me. He said, you will be fine. You will be fine. If you need any help, you let me know. He knew his success is because of my success. Yeah, his success was because of my success. He took a chance on me. He took a chance on me. Yeah. And world opened up for me. So difference between manager and leader. Manager is the one who basically takes care of the people who are working under them. Because if they grow, he or she grows. Yeah. And the third thing I learned that day, humans by nature, they are very good, they are kind, and they are always helpful. Yeah, that is my second story. With me so far. And believe me, I belong there. I belong there. That place was the most safe place for me. I grew, I flourished. Any new project that came in, I was the first in the queue. Agile Scrum happened in my organization then. Hiren, you are going to lead it. And I took it with I just took it, that this is my thing to run. And I was so happy about it. The year is 2006 now. Yeah, 2006. Do you know this guy? You should know this guy. Yeah, absolutely. This is Ken Schwaber. Yeah. And this is also a wonderful story. I should tell you this, right? So they said, you know what, we are going to rewrite this application because that product was no longer scalable. We could not continue with that. So we had to rewrite it. And they picked me and said, you know what, you are going to do Scrum. I said, what is Scrum? Oh, it's a big thing. Agile is a big thing right now, and that's what you are going to do. I said, training? Oh, no training. There is a black book written by Ken, Agile Project Management with Scrum. Read this book. And why not? I was the smartest kid in the town. I read the book. I said, you know what, I know everything. And we started practicing Scrum. 8 teams across 3 different geographies. We are doing the training, we are teaching them, we are doing the estimation. And I think I knew everything. I was reading the blogs, and I was so good because I'm smart. Luckily, I was in Massachusetts. Working out of Hopkinton. Ken was also from Massachusetts, working out of Burlington office. In 2007, Ken used to run this session called Scrum But. Oh, we do Scrum, but we are not seeing the benefits Scrum has to offer. Oh, we do Scrum, but we don't have a Scrum Master. We do Scrum, but we don't have a product owner. They are free sessions. So I started attending those sessions. And actually, if I'm doing so well, every time I attend the session, I should feel better. Every time I attended his session, I felt worse. I'm like, something doesn't seem right. What he's trying to tell me and what I'm doing are 2 different things. And every session it happened. I went and talked to Ken. I worked with Ken, and I'll come back disappointed. Ken said, you know what? He's a salesperson eventually. So he said, I'm going to offer this training called Certified Scrum Master, $2,500 per seat. So that day I went to Ken again. I said, Ken, my company is not going to sponsor me. Can you do something? He liked me. He comes and, Hiren, will you pay for your food? Pay $200 and I'll certify you. So I attended the training with him for 2 days. And that was mind-boggling. Whatever I was doing in the name of Scrum was so different than what he was talking about. I was just project manager, keeping control rather than giving control. I did not understand Scrum the way it was supposed to be. So that was like a game changer for me, right? It was actually a crime, because what was happening was I was taking my half-baked knowledge and transferring it to the people, innocent people, thinking that, whatever Hiren is doing is the right thing. But luckily, because it was a safe environment, I was still able to translate it and do something out of it. This is one more example of Ken, his kindness. Yeah? Is everyone with me so far? Yes. Let's go to the third story. Why? So sorry. I'll speed up now. Yeah, 10 minutes. Good. I'll give you one more stats, right? Like the disk profiling. I'll tell you one more. This is very important, right? Human minds have 70,000 thoughts per day. You only have 84,500 seconds in a day, or 84,600 seconds in a day. You have 70,000 thoughts. It's practically less than 1 thought per second practically. Out of these thoughts, 80% of the thoughts are negative thoughts. And 95% of the thoughts are repetitive thoughts. So basically, there's a lot of repeat thoughts that is happening over here. Yeah? So why am I telling you this? Because this links so much with my story number 3. Yeah? This links so much with my story number 3. So I told you, right, I relocated back to India, started working. I always knew I'm going to land into a job. I never knew I was going to be independent. There was a client called Autodesk from Singapore. They reached out to me because my profile was floating out there. Yeah, and there are a very handful of trainers, 10 trainers practically in the entire India at that point, 2010 I'm talking about. So they reached out to me and said, we want a trainer. I said, no, I'm not a trainer. I'm not a trainer. He says, no, we want to talk to you. So we started talking. Every problem that they had was something that I faced in EMC. So that was a match. So they said, we like you. You come because we have talked to multiple trainers. They did not understand us, so we want you to come. But I'm not a trainer. No, you'll be fine. Company saying I'll be fine. They know just by talking. I said, well, let's take a chance. Why not? So I started preparing my slides. I prepared 40 slides. Talked with one of my US counterpart. He said, are you an idiot? 40 slides you'll exhaust in 2 hours. What will you do for the remaining 4.5 days? I said, tell me, what should I do? Again, people are kind, remember? He showed me some techniques. I went to Singapore, did the training. Those 5 days were game changer for me. And I realized, wow, this is what I want to do. I continued my training journey. Business grew. People are calling me. I will be in Pune, Pune to Calcutta, Calcutta to Delhi, Delhi to Mumbai, and so forth. I was like living it. Business was booming. I was in Pune one of the days. One of my students comes and says, Hiren, I want to talk to you. I said, tell me what? Not now, over the beer in the evening. I said, come on, man, we'll talk in the evening. I said, fine. So I talked to him in the evening. He says, you know what, you need help. I said, why are you saying this to me, that I need help? He says, I know you. You need help. And he introduced me a technique. Again, I'm not marketing this technique. It's called Vipassana. It's a meditation technique. It's a residential program where you go for 10 days. You cannot see eye to anyone. You cannot talk to anyone. And you are meditating for 8 to 10 hours a day for 10 days. I said, why are you telling me this? Keep it with you, no problem. And mind you, he was right. 3 months later, yeah, I was having so much business, I was jittery. I could not stand in one place because I had taken too much business than I could take. Yeah? I was stressed out. I had thyroid problems. I had blood pressure problems. I was 37. I said, what's happening to me? And for some reason, I remembered him. In the next 10 minutes, I was on that website. In the next 5 minutes, I registered it. I told my wife, I'm going for the 10-day Vipassana. I went. I was carrying a BlackBerry then. I said, you know what, I'm such an important person in this world. Without my phone, the world will collapse. What will happen to my clients? But I said, you know what, let me give it a chance. Went, deposited my phone over there. Gave my pen, gave my paper, everything. I was meditating. I needed help. I really needed help, serious help. 7th day, and I remember this very well, 7th day, I'm meditating. Because they create that environment. It's like a vacuum. Sticking buckets of water and throwing it over my head. It's like free flow of energy. This time I'm again cried. I'm shivering. There's tears, flow of tears that's coming out. I don't know what was happening to me. But something magical happened. I realized I was messed up internally. I need to prioritize what is important for me. My mental faculty was gone at that point. I got it back, I restored it. I made sure that no is a good answer. When the business is coming, if it works for me, this is what it is. If it doesn't work, it's not working. It's okay for me. I'm okay to let go. This is my 13th year or 12th year after that. I made sure, because of the training is very taxing. I will not work for more than 10 to 12 days in a month. And I'm staying true to this. And maybe Sanjay can agree with this. Yes, Sanjay? It's very taxing. Yeah. So that is my third realization. This is my third story. Why is it so important? Psychological safety, very important. Make time. Again, this is for everyone. Make sure you understand yourself. Make sure. I'll get it done, yes. Make sure you have time for self-introspection. Take time regularly. Very, very important. Again, meditation is not the only technique. There are so many other techniques available. Do it, please. Yeah. Remember, you can only give what you have. In my case, because I was stressed, I was not keeping it to myself. My wife was stressed. My kids were stressed. My clients were stressed because I was not helping them. I was hurting them. It is so important that we clean our mental faculty. Yeah? Only if you are clean, if you have something positive to give, only then you can be a good leader over there. This again, I totally believe in this. Yeah? Surrender your ego and let the invisible forces take over to create the magic, and they'll always do the best for you. In my case, it happened. Staying in the US, or even before that, meeting that teacher to figure out what psychological safety is not. And then getting someone who taught me what is psychological safety. Meeting Ken Schwaber. Joining that team when someone said, don't go. I said, my gut feel says I should go. Meeting that student of mine, introducing me to a technique. These are invisible forces. I did not control it. You know, this world, it's a beautiful universe. The stars get aligned and they just make things happen for you. Believe in that. Yeah. This is very important, right? We all are miracle of God over here, if you believe in God. The probability that we are alive is 1 in 400 trillion. So we are already a miracle. We are already a magic. And while we are alive, let's live this magic. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, team. Hello. And thank you, Scrum.org, guys. I'm so sorry. No Q&A? I believe you're done? No, please. Again, if you're out of time, you're out of time, yeah?
If anybody has a question, they are free to.
You want to measure psychological safety for your people? You're doing that surveys anyway, right? Employee satisfaction in an anonymous way. Yeah, so in the organization, as a manager, how do I measure whether my people are safe? Because I believe every organization runs an annual survey where you basically allow people to express the way they feel. Yeah? And then you can look at the employee satisfaction. But if you're thinking about you, whether you're psychological safe, you'll just know in your gut, right? That I feel safe here or I don't feel safe over here.
Is there a specific survey which helps us to, specifically designed for psychological survey? Because now it is more of an engagement survey. Most of the companies comes with engagement survey. Yeah. But I'm attending many of the surveys for so many years. But when I go through those questions, there's nothing called a category called psychological safety of the questions, right? Yeah. And it's basically of engagement part.
Yeah, so there are multiple factors over here, right? So one factor is, as an organization, do you really want to understand the psychological safety? That is number one. Or a survey is being rolled out and the manager comes and says, you know what, because this is about, we want to target that manager who is not good. And in that case, the manager will go and tell the team, you know what, this is coming, be sure, you make sure that you give me good score and stuff. And it also gets gamed over there. So you want to be very sure about what you're trying to do. And if you're trying to do it with real heart. And just say, guys, we are trying to measure how are we doing as an organization? What is our culture over here? Yeah. And you will very soon know whether you're, and there are two metrics that you can very soon see, right? If there's a lot of attrition that you're seeing in your organization, that means people are not happy. Yeah. And the second is, if your quality is going down, that will also say that because of the business pressure, people are cutting corners. Yeah? And these two data can be very, very useful to you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, please.
Very interesting topic, and feel free to connect with our speaker after during lunch hours or networking break. So right now, I think we'll shoot a question to audience. We'll try to find someone who has traveled farthest today for this conference. Not the flight ones. Yes. Anyone? Maybe, ma'am, you can start. Where did you commute today? That's far. Anyone farther from her? May we have you here, please? The flight ones.